and they'll have duties to do, you know, in the summer, and you know, there's no rest for the wicked, as they say, but they're good players and it's expected.
It's unbelievable to think how long this season's been and how many games some of those players have played. Then a handful of them have got to go off to Euros. There's Olympics for some of those that might not make the Euros, and then we've just seen it's pre-season.
Well, there's no rest, you know, and it's the nature of football, modern day football.
Yeah.
To be honest, you know, this is the way it is. It's a profession. They're professionals, and you just got to get on with it. It's a job. It's a work job. But when you get to this situation, this is when you can relax, switch off for 24 hours, and they've got to. You know, they've got to switch off on the football side of things, because they'll have to go back to it in a very short space of time. But I'm sure none of that's in their mind. It's just about enjoying the day, I think, on these occasions.
A word again on someone you brought up, as we see pictures of the fans sitting on shoulders of parents, waving European Cup trophies, waving their flag. Someone you mentioned and Robbie was talking about was Ryan Bertrand, up on that bus today with the Champions League winners' medal, winning the Champions League on his Champions League debut.
Unbelievable. I'm so happy for the kid, because he's been here for a while, he's been very patient, he's been out, you know, not involved with the squad at times, you know, during the season, and he's been called upon to, you know, deputise for the best left back in the world, as far as I'm concerned. And when he's come in, the best thing I can say about Ryan Bertrand is we've not missed Ashley Cole. As simple as that. He's been that good. Now, for him to get the nod to play in this final with the other players that were up for a place in the team
left wing,
on the left-hand side of the pitch, you know, just shows, you know, the belief that Robbie had in him, and he done a thorough job, and you know, Robbie took him off when he needed to, but he done a great job.
And that's something Robbie's spoken about a lot, the belief and the confidence that he's got in this squad of players.
Well, yeah, but I think that comes from the manager. I think he's given them that belief, you know, and they've adhered to it. They've got used to it. They understand what he's trying to say and what he's trying to deliver. He's given them the confidence, and we all say, well, you know, you give the confidence to the older players, which a lot of people have said, but yeah, it does filter down to the younger ones. And Ryan's gone on there, and he's done a terrific job. And I think on the back of that, Gigi, what we've also seen, in my opinion, is Ashley Cole get even better. I think the end of the season for Ashley has been outstanding, and he's been one of our best players. Whereas at one stage I thought, well, there's one or two older players inside, and all of a sudden I'm thinking, well, Ashley's 30, you know, what's going to happen to him now? But he's come back absolutely terrific, Ashley. I think he's been by far and now looks again to be the best player in the left back position in the world.
Absolutely. So the bus has started its journey. You're not going to miss out on anything. As soon as we see it, you're going to see it. But in the meantime, I know you're going to want to get some more post-match reaction from last night in Munich, and it's about time we heard from the man between the posts, Petr Cech, along with a man that we were happy to see in the starting 11 after coming back from that hamstring injury. It's Gary Cahill.
Where did that rank on Petr Cech and Chelsea Knights?
Oh, look at this. We've been chasing it for 8 years, and we won it the way we won it, and you know, I'm really pleased in the fact as well that, you know, Didier scored a fantastic goal when in the moment nobody really believed we were going to come back to the game, and then he gave away a pen to us. No way, I have to save that. And I was really confident that I might have a chance, and then in the penalty shootout, I have to say that the first 3 pens I went really close. I went always right way, and I believe that I'm ready to save at least one, and I got one, and then I said, okay, why not another one? I knew, I was confident, and then when I saw Didier going to the fifth one, and I said, okay, this is the moment of what never happened at Moscow, because he should have shot the fifth one at Moscow, and he got sent off. So I said, well, here we go. I believe at that moment I was like, okay, even if he missed no problem, we're gonna win it today. And he scored, and I have to say that it was a moment where for first time in my life, in like 20 seconds, I didn't know what to do. I have to say, I didn't know what to do. I heard him crying. I was crying. I shouted, we were both like, I don't know, shouting and whatever, and well, it was unbelievable.
How are your legs? Hanging in there. It weren't even my hamstring this time. I think it was cramp late on. But nevertheless, absolutely amazing night and highlight of my career so far.
Talk about the atmosphere of the Chelsea supporters.
Amazing, absolutely amazing. The atmosphere in general, the whole stadium's fantastic. The atmosphere is fantastic, and the night's been fantastic.
During the first 90 minutes, Bayern won more corners than any other team against us this season.
Yeah, it was incredible. I noticed that obviously playing, and I mean, it put us under a great deal of pressure first half. I think we defended 15-20 corners or something like that. It seemed like wave after wave, but when we've needed to dig deep in this competition, we've done it. It's proved we was dead and buried apparently against Napoli. It was dead and buried against Barcelona with 10 men. We just keep bouncing back, and today Bayern probably feel a little bit hard done by. They play some great football, put us under a lot of pressure, but again, the big man's come up in the big games, big occasions, and he's dug us out of the hole again.
Well, during Bayern's domination, they didn't really have that many good chances.
No, they dominated, but again, I thought as a whole unit we was organised and we defended well. Yeah, they missed a couple of chances, and that's when you sort of thought it might be our night. But like you said, we was under pressure, but we soaked up, and like I said, I thought we defended well as a whole team, as a whole unit. And when they did miss the odd chance here and there, that's when you thought that it's going to be our night. It has to be.
What was said on the pitch after they'd scored?
I think it just gives us that extra gear. Sometimes you feel like, why did it take a goal to give us that extra gear? But it did, and just through the spirit of the team, and even the last few games in the Champions League, you never thought we was out. I never thought we was out for 1 minute. Yeah, it was disappointing because he scored late on in the game, but like I said, Didier, the man for the big occasion, has stepped up again, and a great header, and thankfully we won on a penalty.
And the penalty save as well from Petr Cech.
Unbelievable. I mean, how many penalties does he want to save in a game? He's pulled off two fantastic saves. He's pulled off one fantastic save in the game. He deserves huge credit for tonight. I thought it was absolutely amazing.
What was the last trophy you won?
I couldn't tell you. Someone asked me that in the week, and I was jogging my memory thinking, I couldn't tell you. So to win the trophy that means everything in club, I mean, to come here, like I said, I come here and signed 5.5 years, and I thought, and I wanted to win trophies. That's why I've come here. But to win it in 6 months too is what dreams are made of.
Just give us a close up of the medal. Give it a kiss.
Not a bad one, is it?
I love seeing the close-up of the medals. But speaking to Gary there, Neil asked him about Petr Cech, and Gary's like, how many saves can he make? It's unbelievable.
Well, he's proved it so many times for us, hasn't he? And again, you know, we're talking about world-class players usually, you know, and Petr Cech has been a world-class goalkeeper for many years now. So I think we get a little bit blasé sometimes about some of the saves he makes, you know, and we tend to think, well, he's our goalkeeper and he's fantastic and he'll make the save at some stage, and he keeps doing it, and he's done it again, and you've got to take your hat off to him. We talked about it prior to the game that, you know, there's a couple of players here who could win this for us. One was obviously Didier, but we've got to take our hat off to Petr Cech as well, because he keeps doing it time and time again. And
we covered this in our pre-match show about Petr talking about doing his homework on penalty takers, and he'd certainly done that when he saved the first two.
Absolutely, and he went the right way for most of the penalties, I think, and he was very close to the ones that he didn't save. Very close. And goalkeepers, they do that nowadays. They do their homework on players. They know what side they prefer to take penalties, and to do it against, well, we had to do it against the Germans because they're renowned for winning them penalty shootouts. They've done it for a long time, and it's not a fluke, it's not luck at all. They're good at it and they practice it all the time. And Petr was superb. The boys, his nerve was brilliant.
Now, can you remind me which team won't be playing in the Champions League next season?
Do we dare say Tottenham Hotspurs?
Oh, that's sad, isn't it? That was like the icing on an already fantastic cake.
It's incredible, isn't it? I mean, you know, obviously for all the Spurs fans it's a bit sad. I don't think any of the Chelsea fans will spare a tear for them at all. But you know, it's just the way it is. You know, it's the rules of the league. That's how it's become. You know, they have to accept it. It's tough, but you move on. You know, hopefully we'll move on in the right direction, and they won't.
Well, we always knew there was a lot on this game. It was not just winning the Champions League. If we didn't win it, we wouldn't be in this competition next season.
Yeah, that was it was vital that we got in this competition for next season. As I've said earlier in the show, that, you know, signing players bringing the top players to the football club. I wish Modric would have wished he would have come to us now, you know, because he's not going to be in the Champions League. No, we don't need him now. We'll get better than him this next season, without a shadow of a doubt. And yeah, basically, like I'm saying, it's just so important to the club, to the players, for the young boys that are coming up, you know, to see us winning this trophy, and they'll want to be a part of it. They'll want to get to the level that, you know, the players that are playing in the team now have set. And, you know, the future looks very, very good.
But it gives a lift to everybody, doesn't it? You know,
it does.
all the fans we're seeing here today, of course, but it gives a lift to everybody who's involved with the football club. You know, us as well, you know, the part we perhaps play with the media, but also the backroom staff get a lift. You know, they get a buzz. The players for sure. You know, the owner must also keep him involved as well, but the board as well, who've worked hard to renegotiate all the sort of things that go on throughout a season. We're now talking about possibly a new stadium as well. You know, everything has taken a lift from this one game, which is absolutely incredible.
It was wonderful. When we were listening to Petr Cech, you turned around and said, oh, the buses have definitely moved, because there were thousands of fans making their way onto Eelbrook Common who'd obviously been lining the route at Stamford Bridge.
Yeah, I just looked over my shoulders, you know, and we looked behind us, and we're in the park here, and they were flooding in from the far end, and it's just incredible. So we know the bus has moved, because people will be walking around to see them when they get here. So, yeah, fantastic scenes.
Yeah. Frank, I feel like you're my personal security guard.
The bodyguard, yeah.
You're like the celery bodyguard.
I am. I'm a bit worried about this celery stuff, because I've never experienced anything like it. But obviously, you know, we've heard this song all our footballing lives at Chelsea. Is very famous with the club and everything. Like I said, yeah.
I had a text from a colleague on Friday night. She said, just to let you know that I've just seen 6 fans walking down Fulham Road with boxes of celery. And I just went, oh no.
Do you know what? As we were walking over here, Gigi, a little bit earlier on, I was looking at these great big bags, you know, Tesco, Sainsbury's, Asda, whoever they are. But they had all these big bags. I kept looking at it thinking, what's in there? And of course, as soon as you get here, you realise what's going on. They actually go out and obviously get them. Unless they got an allotment local, I'm not too sure about that.
Well, someone's making an absolute killing on celery today. But it's in, if I can say it, it's in good spirits. Yes, it hurts when it hits you, but they're smiling when they do it. Frank's been turning around and little boys have been smiling, going, that was me, I hit you.
Unbelievable. I came up the stairs and I thought, just to get to them so that they won't show that it bothers me, the celery. I headed the first one. It was a great header as well, a bit like Drogba's yesterday.
I made Frank an offer earlier on that we went the other side of this screen. He turned me down. He didn't want to go.
No, I'm staying this side of the screen. It's great to see the fans there. They're cheering. They're waving homemade Champions League trophies. The flags are out in force. They've been here for hours and hours lining this route, waiting to see this bus, and very shortly they're going to sit. Something we haven't mentioned, I can't believe we've been on air maybe nearly an hour and we haven't touched on this, was the bet that Frank Sinclair made last night during the penalty shootout. What was that, Frank?
Well, it wasn't really a bet. It was a light-hearted statement.
It was a promise.
It was a light-hearted statement. I said,
yes,
if we win this against the Germans on penalties in their back garden, I would run down Fulham Road naked. Now,
he can't run that far.
Whether I get kept to that or not, we'll have to see. But
you can't
I've got children.
Back on things like that. As I said, we'll get the Chelsea TV cameras out. But in the phone-in after that, we had all these people ring in saying, oh, my husband's running down the street naked. One man said, my boys just ran down the street. So you started something here, Frank.
Frank.
Started a new trend, yeah.
You just have to be careful what you say. But it's things like watching that penalty shootout. There are so many emotions going through your mind. You will do anything to come out on top. You will say anything to come out on top in that penalty shootout.
Well, you just lose it at times, don't you? And I think that's human nature. You know, we're in a situation we've never been in before. We've got a competition that, you know, just before the end of the game, the opposition score with about 7 or 8 minutes to go, and you think it's all over. You know, that dream's gone, the bubbles burst, and your emotions are on the floor. And all of a sudden, we get a goal back with a couple of minutes to go, and we're back up again. And that's how it was, a roller coaster ride. And so things come out your mouth. Perhaps Frank wishes he hadn't said it, but
beating a German team in Germany in a penalty shootout, wow.
Incredible, especially with the Germans. There's no secret to their joy in winning penalties over the years against England and stuff like that, and they're proud of the fact of that they are known as that good at taking penalties. Knocked out endless amount of teams in European international competitions. So for us to do that in their back garden, like I said, it shows a lot of spirit and just a will to win, basically.
I think every traffic light in Parsons Green now has a Chelsea fan sitting on top of it, which is absolutely